This is serious. And, I get it. They want to take us. I get it. I'm not naive. I get the California derangement syndrome. I've been living with that for years and years. New scum. The same 7th grade. I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum. I was in 7th grade. I can handle that. We'll leave that aside. I understand what they're trying to do. I want to work with them. It's not about me. It's about people that we both represent. He represents and I represent. And I'm honored and proud to represent these folks.
Nothing quite prepares you for Trump 2.0, like a man exploiting tragedy for his own political gain in the lead up to his inauguration. Welcome to the next 4 years, folks.
But you did invite him to come out here. Have you had any response?
No.
Nothing. Multiple times, Mr. Trump has threatened to withhold aid for California wildfires, both as president and now again as president-elect. Are you worried that he might actually do that?
Well, he's done it in Utah, he's done it in Michigan, did it in Puerto Rico. He did it to California back before I was even governor in 2018, until he found out folks in Orange County voted for him, and then he decided to give the money. So he's been at this for years and years and years. It transcends states, including, by the way, Georgia. He threatened similarly.
It's sad that Los Angeles has to fight the fire and the MAGA lies at the same time, but this is where we're at, folks. And Governor Gavin Newsom has done an excellent job communicating and fighting back against these lies around the state of California and Los Angeles. He puts out a website specifically combating the MAGA lies and what the answers to those lies really are. And to get a sense of the many conspiracy theories, the many MAGA lies that Trump has put out there and that Trump cohorts have put out here, here are what the topics are on the website that he has to combat. Lies such as about budget cuts, land management, mass apartments, smelt reserves, various water lies, Oregon firefighters, using a woman's purse to fight fires, Hollywood sign, asking general public to fight fires, Starlink access, fire engineers out of fuel, secret pedophile tunnels, and satanic rituals. This is where we're at, folks. This is where we are at in 2025, when Los Angeles has faced two of the largest fires it's ever had in its history at the same time, destroying 10,000 homes, businesses, almost 200,000 people having to be evacuated. Governor Gavin Newsom having to deal with this really complex and very serious tragedy. I live in Los Angeles. I have for 30 years. I've never seen Los Angeles like this. It is a small town. All of us know at least one person has lost a home, who's lost a business, who has been evacuated. There is a sense of grief, shock. It is going to take a long time to repair. There is a sense of humanity, though. The number of people donating, reaching out, helping others is amazing. But we're not getting that from the president-elect and Trump. We're not getting that from MAGA. Instead, we're getting lies about a secret pedophile tunnel, lies about satanic rituals. So here's the first, fact check that Governor Newsom puts about the budget. And he says, the fact is the number of CAL FIRE personnel has nearly doubled since 2019 from 5,829 to 10,741. Another fact is that CAL FIRE's budget has nearly doubled since 2019, $2 billion to $3.8 billion. Those are the facts. Him putting it out on real time. And this idea of this MAGA lie conspiracy that the burns there are on purpose in order for there to be more housing. It's crazy when you say some of these things out loud. But so instead of there being single family housing at Palisades, for there to be these mass apartments, Governor Gavin Newsom, he's dealing with these really complex issues. There's having to combat this lie. And he puts out there, not only is that not true, but he's already signed an executive order against predatory practices by developers, because there are going to be a lot of people who maybe are approached by developers and taking advantage of the situation. So he's had to already say, no, we're not changing the zoning. And also we are trying to protect homeowners who need to rebuild from predatory practices from developers. So him trying to get the news out as quickly as possible.
What Trump said there, is it true?
I showed a social media post from the president-elect yesterday to an expert in California water policy, a man named Jeffrey Mount. He said, Abby, none of it is true. So this has just been a staggering quantity of wrongness from the president-elect in a very short period of time. And there have been some small specific examples. Like he keeps saying that Governor Newsom refused to sign a so-called water restoration declaration. In fact, no such declaration even exists, as Newsom's office has pointed out. He also said yesterday that they're not using firefighting planes. We've seen those planes. They're there. But more than that, Abby, I think the president-elect has promoted an overarching false narrative.
California and Governor Gavin Newsom isn't just combating MAGA lies, they're also getting down to business. The state legislature just passed $50 million to protect the state of California and its residents from Trump's plans. This is even more than they thought they were going to initially get. The $25 million, they have gone to $50 million. And this is going to fund things like lawsuits from the attorney general to stop a lot of the actions that Trump promises to make. Evidently, our attorney general Rob Bonta has said that he has been preparing lawsuits since May based on Trump's stated agenda, but it is also going to go to nonprofit legal agencies in the state of California where people at risk of deportation can get a lawyer at either a free or subsidized rate based on this $50 million that was just approved. So the state of California dealing with these unprecedented fires and also still dealing with Trump, showing how much Democrats can be the adult in the room, can do more than one thing, can be responsible. And the state of California, in the midst of this all, doing what they need to do for their budget, but seeing that the Republicans aren't willing to do what they need to do for their budget because they are talking about withholding disaster aid to the state of California, unless it is linked to raising the debt ceiling. And the reason why that is because they want to extend Trump's tax cuts, which will add so much to the debt that they will have to raise the debt ceiling. They don't want it to be because of that. They want it to be because of the disaster aid. They wanted to be able to have a talking point during the next election that the debt ceiling is raised because of the state of California, despite the fact that we know California gives more money in taxes to the federal government than any other state. So it's essentially California's turn to get some of their federal money back. But MAGA and Trump, instead using this as some sort of political weapon, instead of doing the right thing, California pays in federal taxes, and that federal money goes to other states that are in need. This is how our government works. Florida, Louisiana, North Carolina, but when it's its turn to get some of its money back, Trump and MAGA trying to tie it to their own failed tax policy that will raise the debt of all Americans.
Donald Trump has now gone radio silent after California Governor Gavin Newsom sent Donald Trump a letter saying to Donald Trump, if you intend to spread lies about California and about our handling of these catastrophic fires as we're trying to deal with a crisis and get the resources in place where they need to be as we're managing this crisis, come to California, Donald, and say it to my face. You want to do it public? Why don't you come here? Why don't you stop being an internet troll and encouraging all these other internet trolls to spread lies and disinformation on Elon Musk's social media platform and your social media platform and trying to politicize a catastrophe when we're trying to help the people? Say it to my face, Donald. And Donald, who's very weak, has now gone radio silent. But we do see some photographs of Donald Trump that have been surfacing. A MAGA Republican Congress member by the name of Vince Fong. He's the individual who replaced Kevin McCarthy in Congress after McCarthy was kicked out by other MAGA Republicans.
State of California's allocation of the $50 million is good on a policy level because we're doing the right thing for residents of our states, but it also is good for an economic reason. California has the largest undocumented population in the country. We also have the biggest economy in the country. We pay the most in federal taxes in the country. And the rebuild in Los Angeles is going to take a huge amount of construction workers. And we know that undocumented immigrants are a large number of construction workers in the state of California. And this timing of Trump trying to deport people who are necessary and integral to the rebuilding of Los Angeles. This is why the state of California is spending that money of $50 million, helping people to get lawyers, helping to fight these deportation. It's not only because of the values and standing up for the values, standing up for families who may be separated, standing up for communities that will be harmed by the deportation, but also standing up for our economy and recognizing the integral contribution immigrants and undocumented immigrants make to our state.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the Midas Touch newsletter at MidasTouch.com/newsletter.